What's up, YouTube? Thanks for watching last week's episode. Today we're back with a new episode, and like I said, I try to make it a tradition that every 4 weeks we do some sparring with some tips. So I made some videos during the no gi class, and I took a few white belts. I asked them to spar, and I can give some pointers, because of course no gi is different than with the gi. So we're gonna do some no gi today. And to show you some difference, I sparred around as well. They filmed it, so I hope that you can see the difference in strategy, what we talked about last week, and game plan, and then working for the submission instead of just going straight for the submission. So that's what we're going to cover today. I hope you will like it. I hope you all will enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. And as always, enjoy the weekend. And enjoy the video. So we start from half guard position. As you can see, Philippe on the bottom is going for the underhook, doing a good job. But what Thomas is doing, he's creating some space for him to move, and therefore he's able to come up and pull guard. So he could have better stayed close on his opponent, and now he's taking the risk, ending up in the guard. And he's working for the triangle. The thing is with the triangle, what you see here, the knees pass the hip. So this puts a lot of pressure, a lot of stress on the lower back of Philippe. And it's very hard for him to engage the hip. So if you go for a triangle, it's better to don't let your knees pass your hip. In the end, he got the triangle, but it's better and more effective to to engage your hip. So he switched position. And then you can see how Philippe is much closer, much more pressurizing his opponent Thomas right here. So Thomas can't pull guard or get an underhook as easily as it was the other way around. So that's pretty nice to see here. Actually, we did a no gi class with I think it was 35 degrees inside. That's a nice detail to mention. Okay, so back to the fight. He creates some space, but now Thomas is just persisting on holding the leg, and Philippe is just standing up and, just going for the mount, just easily. While if Thomas was active, he could have pulled guard or done something else to prevent Philippe from mounting. And now, instead of first gaining a good control and a proper mount position, he's already working for a choke, but Thomas is on his side. So he should free the foot, put some pressure on the neck. So this is a very dangerous thing he does here. If it is with someone else, he would have lost the position. No control. Going for an armbar without a control, and therefore regaining position for Thomas. So Thomas looking for a control, but he should move more forward. So Thomas, that's a big a lesson for you. Close the distance. Stay on your opponent like glue yourself to him. If there's no space for him to move, you're controlling him, and with the control of your opponent, you control the fight, right? Okay, nice sweep there. Now he has a good control, Philippe. You see that? So he has hooks, hip pressure, he has a control of the head, and most likely he's working for the Ezekiel. So Thomas is trying to move, but his hip is pinned to the ground. You can see Philippe working with the head perfectly. Maybe it's a little rough, but he gets the hand in, and there's the Ezekiel. So that's a nice performance of mount control and Ezekiel, better than what we had just before when Thomas had the reversal. So we're gonna do another round. So in this fight, I switched positions with Thomas to show you a little bit more how to control the fight. Well, I hope he has a steady hand. So you see, I try to control his arm and then go forward with the hip. So there's a lot more pressure coming from my hip and my body controlling him. So the rule of thumb I always use, if your body is doing the control, you have the rest of your limbs free for an attack. You see, my arm is already controlling his arm and going for the armbar. So he moves, he tries to escape, and although I'm backed up against the wall, I keep the control and I'm able to work for the armbar. Also here, when he's, trying to escape, holding his hand, you have to keep calm. If the control is good,
you'll eventually free the arm. But if you go too hard, persist too much, you create some space, and your partner will probably escape. So, lesson learned, control and keep calm. If you have control and you keep calm, you're controlling the fight. And the one who's controlling the fight is the one who's comfortable in the fight. And he will most likely win the fight. So, again, Philippe, he tried to move forward, too eager, giving me some space. And I am able to pull guard. And, I try and go for the triangle. But my goal here is to not let my knees pass my hip, so I can engage my hip. As you can see here, he was moving back, so I could engage my hip to bring him up. And I hope, yes, here you can see it. My knee is not passing my hip. And he's doing a pretty good job in defending. But I just keep calm. I try to perfect the position of the arm, the foot, and I only bring my hip in when I know I have a good control, and then I don't spill any energy. So that's something you wanna do as well. So here we have two other guys, Marius and Sinan, half guard again. You see how Sinan's pressing with his hip. Although his positioning isn't perfect, he is using the hip and trying to get a control of the head, so that it's very difficult for Marius to move. You see, so he's first and foremost focused on getting control, and then his goal is to proceed, maybe to mount or go for a submission or something. You see, so he's controlling the head, using the hip, and then he can mount. That's pretty nice what he did there. Yeah, I like that. He already has the head. You see that? So when going forward from the half guard to the mount, he was controlling the head and setting up the Ezekiel. So there's a game plan. He's not letting go of the control he had, because he can use it when he has the mount position. Because especially in mount, you want to control the hip and you want to control the head. In no-gi especially, because there's nothing to grab, So using your body is very important. Okay, Marius, you want to roll? Sure, bro. I get your back. Perfect. So you want to have the control, but not be affected by the moves your opponent makes. This is a perfect example. He's getting back control. Yeah. He crosses the feet, but do you see that he does it on the side of the hip? So it's very hard to get the foot lock, and it's not a full body triangle. This is just a control that makes sense. If he is in any danger, he can still open up, but he can use the hooks, to keep him in place, and I get this position. So there was the submission already. So good control leading to a submission. So as you can see, Marius moved a lot, but Sinan was in control all the way. Let's see how it goes the other way around. Yes, he's trying to work with pushing with the hand, going up with the hip, giving space. I hope you guys see it happening. Really curious, let me know in the comments if you guys see the same thing as I do. So, just in a split second, position switched, and Sinan is in control again. Controlling the legs, because he knows the legs that will bring him back in guard. Controlling the legs, passing the guard, blocking the legs, controlling the cross side. Yeah. Okay, boom, controlling, going for the mount. Very good, Marius. You caught the leg. Perfect. Don't hold him like that. If you hug someone like that when you're on bottom, you stick yourself to the ground and you limit your own movement. Up, and there's the mount again. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you're in bottom position. You want to keep moving and keep on your side. If you're flat on your back, you limit your own movement. So keep moving and stay on your side. Try to work with a upa, with shrimping or anything. Keep moving, because otherwise, as you can see here, your top opponent will use his hip. So he uses the hip, and Marius creates an escape, and the fight goes on in a kind of a scramble. So we go on to one of the other fights and do some more feedback on that one. So we're back with Philippe and Thomas. Different round, but almost the same thing as previous. The thing is, you see Philippe really working with the hip and really working hard for the Ezekiel. So all his focus is on the choke, and Thomas is defending his neck. He can do a little bit better on trying to escape, but because Philippe is fully focused on the choke, Thomas can fully focus on defending, and there's not any real danger there. So he's timing, and it's beautiful to see when you know, in a split second, Philippe brings his hip up. Thomas is gonna react and does a very nice reversal. So the hip goes up. He uses the wall. There could be a car on the street, you know, and he escapes. So with this, I want to end this week's vlog. I hope you all liked it, enjoyed it, and learned something. So please leave a comment, let me know. And, you know, I hope to see you all next week again. Have a good training. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.